Hello guys, my name is Slippery Jack, and today I'm reviewing the fifth album by the Prodigy, Invaders Must Die. So I'm sorry to say that my uploads are going to be slowing down lately because I'm back in school and I've got lots of homework and I simply don't really have much time for videos and stuff like that anymore. But I will make sure that I continue to upload at least once a week. But yeah, let's get into it. So at this point, the Prodigy have changed quite a bit since Experience, and at this point, a lot of those albums back in the 90s are now considered classics, and however, they managed to keep their sound fresh with each progressive album. But now they're that sound is old. So how are they going to keep their sound fresh when the sound they're most known for is now considered outdated? Well, that's exactly what they do here. At this point, I keep saying at this point, don't I? So, at the time of this album, there was a genre called New Rave. And New Rave is basically electronic dance music with influence from dance punk and indie rock, which is basically just dance music with guitars, and it's usually a lot more on the heavier side and in your face. And yeah, no, I think you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this. This already sounds a lot like the Prodigy. So they shouldn't have a problem creating this, don't you think? And their sound couldn't be too different. Well, that wasn't the case. It turned out that it's the same formula that the Prodigy used, dance music with rock music. But this thing just sticks out like a sore thumb in their career. There is really no other album in their discography that sounds like this. It's got these different sounding keyboards, which I thought were pretty cool sounding, and some vocoders too. And this difference may have turned off a lot of fans. And I have heard that some people say they adore this record, and some people will tell you that it's one of their weaker ones. But we're not here to talk about those fans. We're here to talk about the opinion of this fan. And what I think of this is it's probably in the middle category for the Prodigy, which means it's still a pretty great album. And there's a problem that I have with this record. It's that a few of the tracks near the end aren't really very memorable, and I don't really think I should take off points for that, but it just makes me not want to return to the record as often as I would do The Fat of the Land or Experience, which are way more memorable. But I'll go down the track listing. The title track is a great example of new rave. It's got this sample that says, "Invaders must die," and some guitars too, and the slow dark section in the middle is also really cool. If I have one problem with this track, I feel like the production is kind of mediocre. But I've learned to get past it, and it's still enjoyable nonetheless. But then there is the radio hit that is Omen. I love this song. It is much more intense than the title track because the production is better and you get way more bass. And you can easily sing along to it, and it never fails to pump me up and make me feel epic. Thunder is a little more chilled out, but still really fun to listen to. The lyrics to it are kind of meaningless unless there's a deeper meaning to it, but what the heck, it's still fun to sing along to, and the end of it, when the digital guitar comes in, is also pretty cool. And Colors is easily one of my favorites. It's a lot heavier than the previous track, and It has more guitar and some great melodies and nothing really much more to say about it. Just amazing track. Go check it out. Take Me to the Hospital sounds like something that could have been on Music for the Jilted Generation, and it's a lot darker than some of the other tracks here. And Warrior's Dance is just a great dance track. It has like a lot of fun sounds and sampled vocals that go so well with the music. And I don't know, it's just a ton of fun to listen to. Run with the Wolves is very fast and energetic, and this one never really stuck with me, sadly. And that's when my problems of this about this album come in. But this is still a really great track. It's great driving music, and when it's on, I always really enjoy myself. Just wish it stuck with me a little more. And then there is a reprise of Omen. This one is very spacey and more on the ambient side, and it's just really cool to listen to. I just wish it was longer. They had made it like 7 to 8 minutes maybe, and they just built it up like from that ambient section that you hear on this one, and they put beats in it and they just build it up to become like the coolest thing ever. That would just be like, that would have been pretty amazing, but what the heck, this ambient track is still awesome, and it even rivals the original. And there isn't much I have to say about World on Fire that I haven't said about some of the previous tracks. It goes for a similar formula with a repeating sample saying song's title and some yelling that says something like too close to the wire, and at about 1 minute and 40 seconds there's this really awesome break that sounds a lot like 90s dance music, and yeah, it's actually a really enjoyable track. Piranha is one of the more intense ones. It has lyrics about piranha tearing you apart. Okay, I think a lot of the lyrics these guys do are kind of meaningless unless, like I said about Thunder, there's like some sort of deep meaning that I have no idea about. And then we end with Stand Up, which is a great chill out track. I really like the horn sections of it, and it's got some guitar too, and it just really sounds like the end. It's probably the best thing that they could have done to make it the like best choice for an ending. Although Omen Reprise would have been a pretty awesome ending too. But yeah, I think that's pretty much Invaders Must Die for you. I don't consider it an all-time favorite, but that doesn't mean it isn't a ton of fun to listen to. But maybe one day I will be able to give it like a higher rating, and it will, like, once it's been a bigger part of my life. Like, let me remind you, I've only been listening to these guys for a year. But yeah, I'm overall feeling an 85 out of 100. It's a really great album. Definitely go check this one out. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.